Well, welcome to another lesson of the Focus on Contentful course. I am Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator. As always, get a hold of me right there, Marcelo at headlesscreator.com. Today, my guest presenter, Sevak Ikizian, he's back. He's a full stack developer at ServiceTitan. And in today's part one of a three-part series, he's going to talk to you about and show you how to use the Contentful CLI, specifically today, to use or to manage spaces in Contentful using the CLI. So without further ado, Sevak, welcome.
Hello, Marcelo. It's good to be back.
I'd love to see you back. Some people, I think many people don't know that we used to work together at ServiceTitan when I used to work at ServiceTitan. I love working with you. You're a great guy. Now, you're located where? In Armenia, right?
Yes, I'm in Armenia.
So how many hours difference? Right now it's about 7:30 here in the morning in Southern California.
It's 6:30 in the evening, so
Oh,
it's
it's almost
11
dinner time.
hours. Yeah.
Wow, 11 hours. Well, thank you for staying up later here, and I know you're going to do your dinner later. Real quick before we get started on your presentation, why would well, first of all, CLI, command line interface. Um, why is that important for using that with Contentful?
Well, CLIs in general are used in the places when there are no user interface. So it can be servers, it can be some scripts. Contentful CLI especially can be used for automating some uh, general actions, like some things that you have to do every day. And also I've used CLI for migration, for
For migration?
migrating
Yeah.
entries from one environment to another.
And actually, I believe that's going to be part three of this series, right? That you're
Yeah,
going to show that.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess the important part in when people ask like, why do I even need to learn the CLI? It's really if you want to speed up the process or if you want to automate some of the things instead of clicking on the GUI constantly, you can do that with the CLI.
Yes, and actually when it comes to migrating, I believe you can't do migrations from UI. You
You
have
have
to
to use the
use
CLI.
CLI.
Yeah. So when we get to that, we'll jump in. Okay, perfectly. All right, Sevak, I'm gonna go ahead and show your screen now. And for those of you watching live, you know how it works. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, and I'll jump in and ask. Sevak, we see your screen. I'm gonna go away. It's all yours, sir.
Thank you, Marcelo. Okay, this is the basic Contentful page, so I'm sure all of you know. So let's start with installing the CLI. To install the Contentful CLI, you can go to its official site. As you can see, there are a couple of ways of doing it. Today we are going to use npm for that. So you just copy the text, you paste it in your command line, click enter, and it is being installed. So for those of you who have already worked with CLIs, this has all basic commands that all CLIs have. So it's version, it's help, and in just, yeah. So since we already have it installed, I can show you. So --v, it stands for version. It shows that we have version 1.14. Okay, to start working with Contentful, first we need to authenticate. For that, we need to go to Contentful's page. We go to Settings, API Keys, Management Tokens, and we generate a token. So we can name it anything just to put something meaningful to remember what this is for. For example, so. And be sure to copy this API key immediately, because once you close this dialog, you will never be able to recover this again. So we copy it. Okay. In Contentful CLI, to authenticate, we just type Contentful login -- management token, and we pass the token. Okay, so we are now authenticated, and it says that we can log out now. You can just type contentful logout and it will log out. Okay, first thing, now we can start exploring spaces. First, we can do like contentful space dash help, and it will show us all available commands. We are not going through all of these. We'll just go through 4 of these. So we'll create, delete, list, and use environments.
Quick question on
Sure.
the token. So you created that token under your name. So that means that whatever is done through the CLI will be tied to your user, correct? Or it
Yeah.
could be traced to your user. Is that the
Yeah.
recommended best practice? So that way you can track like who's doing what? Or is it better to have a generic user? What is the best practice that you recommend for the token?
Yeah, that actually depends on the use case. If you are doing something from like your name, you should always use you should
Your
generate
own
the token
token.
under your name. Yeah, but if it's like a general script that anyone can run, sometimes it makes sense to have a general token for from one account that is like CLI account, for example, and that's how you know that even if person doesn't have permissions to do something, he can use that script
Right,
to do that. So
right.
you can control that.
And if the person ends up leaving the organization, at least you don't have to worry about the account removing
Yeah.
it and looking at code and changing all of that. So
Yes.
yeah,
Exactly.
that makes sense. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay. Let's go ahead and just see what spaces I have. For that, type contentful space list. Oh, all right.
I think part of the problem was the token when
Yeah.
you created it. Yeah, I think we'll have to log out and relog in. That's why I
Probably
think it was
login.
asking you to log out.
Let's revoke this and create again.